The Hull and Hornsea Railway line opened to much fanfare in 1864.
The line carried holidaymakers, commuters and goods between the city and the seaside.
The line closed to passengers in 1964 and to goods shortly afterwards.
In this video we explore the first 3 stations on the line
And delve into the archives to reveal some long forgotten secrets of the Hull and Hornsea Railway. So here we are at the end of the Hull and Hornsea Railway line. To our right is the very well preserved remains of Hornsea Town Station, now a private residence. We're actually also at the end of the Transpennine Trail, and 215 miles in that direction would take us to Southport.
Ironically, this wasn't meant to be the end of the line.
No, originally the terminus was going to be at Hornsea Bridge Station, just a little way along this trail. But at the last minute, the main driver behind the building of this railway, Joseph Armitage Wade, decided, having seen the success of the railway line to Withensea, which we covered in recent episodes, that the line also needed to come right to the edge of Hornsea, and it stopped with the sea about 100 yards further on from the railway station.
That's Hornsea, not Hornsea.
That's right, as was pointed out to us before. If we do say Hornsea during the course of this video, please correct us in the comments below, but we're going to say Hornsea. So the Hornsea Town railway station opened to great fanfare in March 1864. And what we see here is the forecourt of the station, with the lines being behind this building. When the first train arrived at Hornsea Town Station from Wilmington Station, Hull, on the 28th of March 1864, it was met with banners all over the town, massive speeches, parades, a whole series of celebrations, because it was envisaged that Hornsea would really take off and only be rivaled on the east coast as a resort by Scarborough. And you can see from this drone footage, kindly provided by the ALW research team, quite how close the railway station was to the North Sea. Next to the railway station we have the station master's house, still in excellent condition. Hey Dawn, I bet you can't guess the name of the station master here in 1891.
I can't, but I think you're going to tell me.
It was none other than Mr. William Train. Was it a case there of nominative determinism? Both the up and down platforms were just around the corner from the station forecourt on Station Court. Again, we have some footage here from ALW Research, which shows where the trains came in to Hornsea from Hull and where the trains left Hornsea to go back down to Hull, looking out here towards the police station and the North Sea beyond. So one thing we like to do in this channel is dig out some stories from the history of these railway stations, and here we have one of that said Mr. Train, station master, only having 2 holidays of 14 days each over a period of several decades. Very hard work back then on the railways. We also found this report from 1923 where an engine overran the turntable and ended up blocking the line, but not for too long, as the station master got things going fairly quickly. This brickwork here looks quite old, back onto people's gardens. Not sure if this was some sidings or perhaps a goods shed at this part of the track. And the short extension between Hornsea Bridge and Hornsea Town that we're now on turned out to actually double the cost of this line. It was originally going to cost £68,000, but having to build initially a viaduct and then an embankment over some boggy land that we're about to walk across increased the cost to £122,000, or about £15 million in total in today's money, to build the railway from Hull to Hornsea.
So we've just come off the trail, but you can see the embankment behind us here.
Yeah, I did read talk of a Hornsea viaduct. I think the original plan, or perhaps they actually got round to building a viaduct, but this land is quite boggy and marshy to either side of us, so it was thought that it would sink into the ground too much, and at some point it was replaced with this embankment, but I'm not sure when. I'll dig down and see if I can find out any further details about the mystery Hornsea viaduct. So we did find this report from 1863 about laying of the foundation stone in the railway and some of the difficulties encountered when building the viaduct. And this report from the next year about the need to extend the viaduct, but we couldn't find any pictures or further descriptions of it. Does anybody know of any that exist? So just imagine, in the 100 years between station's opening in 1864 and its final closure to passengers in 1964, a century later, all the excited people coming in the last few yards along this line for a day at the seaside. But it wasn't just used by day trippers and holiday makers, it was also a commuting line. You could get from Hornsea Town Station into the centre of Hull in 28 minutes. It's an 8:50 train from Hornsea into Hull, so you could be in the centre of Hull and at your office desk by 9:30.
Hornsea Town Station was closed in 1964.
And for a couple of decades after that, the building gradually fell into decline. There was a danger it would end up like Wassand being totally demolished, but fortunately in 1987 it was renovated into the fine buildings that people can still come and enjoy and marvel at today. So a good part of Hornsea's railway heritage preserved there. So from the station that became known as Hornsea Town in 1950, we travel a short way southwestwards towards Hornsea Bridge Station. If you're enjoying the content on this video, please consider giving it a like.
And if you'd like to consider subscribing, it's absolutely free.
We're a new channel on YouTube looking to expand and bring you videos about all types of history. You can see the line drop down behind me. It's now a roundabout and the embankment continue there. We have Hornsea Bridge Industrial Estate behind me there. So this is a break in the line. The station would have been in there. All that remains is this embankment. Got a lovely photo here of Hornsea Bridge Station from around 1930 with a shower bank there underneath the bridge. And a view here from 1950 with a train facing going up towards Hull. A DMU here from around 1960. A view facing south towards Hull from probably around a similar era. And another journey about to set off towards Hull again in the 1960s. But less than a decade later, 1971, here we go, track lifted and station gone.
We now make our way from Hornsea with the famous mere on our left. As we make our way towards Wassand Station, the next stop on the line.
First station you come to once you leave Hornsea, a couple of miles in that direction, is called Wassand. The nearest village is actually Gox Hill, but they couldn't call it Gox Hill because there's already a station of that name in Lincolnshire, so Wassand it was. Just coming to the point, there would have been a level crossing across this country lane. So just as we cross the line coming from Hornsea, we have these grippers which kept the rails in place, which are actually known as chairs. And just to the side, if we scrape away, I think we've got underneath all this dirt the remains of one of the sleepers. So still here.
Any over here?
So these would have been laid 1864, it's now 2025, so we are talking over 150 years ago. These have been fixed in the ground at this very point. Wonderful.
Yeah, you can see it, sort of.
Yeah, evidence of a few more sleepers. It is possible to see the station building just through the hedge here. It is a private residence, totally out of bounds, so we'll respect that, but we'll just walk a little way along the trail here. One thing we like to do on this channel is to delve into the primary sources to bring fresh information about these railways that you may not have heard before. And I came across one very sad tale from 1921, and that involved the 6:40 train coming up this very line in front of us from Hull to Hornsea. The date was Thursday, the 24th of March. The engine driver, Arthur Nicholson, noticed a woman step out in front of the train at this very spot. Her name was Mary Hockney, aged 64, wife of the station master at Wassand Station. They had lived there for 30 years. Mary was killed instantly. It was said her body was terribly mutilated. It was taken into the waiting room of Wassand Station where an inquest was held, and it was found that she had committed suicide while of unsound mind. In fact, the local doctor, Dr. Wyatt, put a further twist on that suicidal mentality. He said it had actually come from a form of religious mania, with poor Mary deciding that she had offended God in some way and therefore needed to get away from the suffering she was having inside her head. Mary's bereaved husband William retired from the railway, which he had served for the previous 47 years, a few months later, aged 70.
Little mound in here, which we believe is one of the platforms.
And some more of the platform in this undergrowth. A little bit of brickwork on this side where the station building was. A little bit of platform remaining there. and a little bit more platform as we get towards where the level crossing was. Extra bits of metal and wood here, just at the points where the line would have crossed the road. And what was previously Goxhill Station, then Wassand after 1904, only operated one day a week on market days. That was Tuesday up until the mid-1930s, and then from then on it was Wednesdays. I think it closed in the 1950s due to lack of goods being taken on it to market day. Next station we're heading to is Sigglestone. You won't come across a more Viking type name. Again, that is a station that does not bear its original name, for similar reasons why this one had to change its name. Before we leave Wassand, a report here from 1950 of a train crashing through the gates causing commuters to be delayed by 30 minutes. But first, Wassand Low Crossing. Dawn has a Trek power bar. So just about half a mile on from Wassand Station here, at the point where there was a level crossing. Once again we see two chairs here, very prominent, a reminder of this area's railway history. And just a few yards away we have the old signal keeper's cottage. When I say cottage, it's actually quite a substantial house, again now a private residence. Lovely period chimneys and brickwork. Another glorious day in East Yorkshire, just like when we were here 3 weeks ago doing the Hornsea to Hull line. Inspired by her Trek power bar, Dawn has now found one on the other side of the line as well, which leads off to Sigglestone Station. The next episode in this series will feature our explorations of Sigglestone and Whitedale stations, so if you don't want to miss that, please subscribe to the channel. It will be uploaded soon.
So we hope you can join us next time, where every journey begins with a path to the past.